Hello, this week might have contained the inciting incident if my current life was its own story. My name is Martin, and this is how I'm gonna reach my 4 creative goals before I reach 40. So the past week has been really turbulent, both personally, weather-wise. We've got Trump as a world leader soon, and in school it has been very hectic. It kind of feels like it's the inciting incident I'm going through right now. And what is the inciting incident when it comes to drama? Well, it's usually in the beginning you have like an equilibrium with the normal life. An inciting incident is when something happens that sets the story in motion and breaks the equilibrium. So I might be facing that now, but I'm not totally sure. So we'll see in a couple of weeks. So this week I have been in Stockholm with school and met my class. The main part of the week we have been giving feedback to each other about our stories, 30-minute stories. For the emo-thriller I'm writing, this is the feedback I got. At least my mentor and the teacher wanted me to make the story darker, because what I have been doing in the last revision is to make it a little bit lighter, I think. But she really loved like the dark romantic story, and she might be right that I need to bring that back into the project a little more. I mean, it is an emo thriller, so it should be dark and romantic. To be able to do that, 2 parts of the feedback will be really important. The first one is that quite a few didn't quite understand what the main character, Gustav, was thinking and going through. So for the story to feel important, that is really important. So I'll try to push that a little and make it clearer. And also the ending, it's kind of, in Sweden we call it lagom, just enough, I guess would be the translation. It could be really grim or really happy, but now it's more lagom. And I will try some other ways to end the movie. The story also contains a lot of flashbacks and memories. It's like superimposed into the scenes where he goes back to places where he met Rebecca, and he sees her doing the things she did back then. But that was kind of confusing for people. So hopefully it's not the problem that I'm using flashbacks, even though people tend to think that using flashbacks could be bad. But I think it's more about how you use them and that they are important and progress the story. So I'll take a look on that too. I also took the opportunity to meet some friends when I was in Stockholm. One that has read a lot of criminology. And then I also met another friend who comes from the small town where the story takes place, Hudiksvall. And he's also studying to become a police. So I got a lot of good feedback about things I should consider to make it more likely and believable. This Thursday we had a lecture with Sonny Jörgensen, and she was talking about want and need and the importance of having a strong character for the audience to feel the plot. And finally it became clear, I think, what this thing about want and need is about. It's like a character wants something in the beginning, but in the end they understand that they need something else. And that, I think, it's a good way if you manage to tie them together with the theme of the movie. And she gave some really good tools of how to do that. So I will try them out and see if it works. We've also met a lot of people from the business. We met filmmakers, screenwriters, actors, producers, and we went to the Swedish Television and Swedish Film Institute, which are together the main financiers in Sweden for movies. Because we don't really have those big production companies that Hollywood has. So if you don't manage to get at least one of them, then it will be hard to finance your movie. But hopefully I now have a lot of contacts and I know who to speak to and what to think about when applying for this money. Then we also went to an agency in Stockholm, Salomonsen Agency, which have a lot of prosaic writers and script writers. So me living in Malmö and having 4 hours to Stockholm, that means that I cannot socialize and network the same way as someone living in Stockholm. So having an agency on site that can kind of do that and see what opportunities are showing up would be brilliant. Weather-wise, it has been a very strange week. Usually there comes some snow in the beginning of November, and then there's like no snow for at least a month, and then there will come some snow in December if you're lucky. But in Stockholm this week it has been crazy. At least a feet, perhaps like 2 feet or 50, 60 centimeters of snow. And this has caused a lot of problems for people that are commuting or people driving cars, even worse. I have been staying at my parents' home outside of Uppsala, which is an hour north of Stockholm. So I'm kind of have been counting it takes 2 hours to get from one door to the other. And if I'm going back and forth one day, that's 4 hours of commuting. And the reason why I've been doing this is kind of to try, like if I have an internship or have work in Stockholm, to see if it's possible for me to live at my parents'. And I guess it is possible, but it could be better. Then I guess I should talk about the people electing Trump as their president in the US. I guess it's the citizens of USA's choice. But it's hard for me as a Swede and European to be happy about it, I guess. What this means to me as a storyteller, I think usually I really like dystopian stories and post-apocalyptic stories. But it's hard for me to come up and write those now because they kind of feel too close. So I want to write stories that are inspiring instead of scary. Because I think that's what the world needs now, to be inspired, because we're scared enough. So this week I'm gonna spend some time on rewriting the outline for the emo-thriller, and I guess writing on the script and see what I can do. Clarifying, making the characters stronger, making everything more colorful, I guess, or black, white and red, because it's emo. Then I'm also gonna try to figure out a good strategy for the upcoming months. More about that when I know more about that. So this week's one cool thing, it's not the GoPro again, but it's a video that I made. I'm not sure if anyone else enjoys it, but it's very, very typical of how Swedes wait in queue. Look at like the distance between people. It's perfect. Hopefully you thought that was funny too. And if you have any comments, feel free to share them with me. If you want to continue to follow me on my journey to reach my 4 creative goals before I reach 40, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you soon.